Okay, let's look at number 4. List the slope, intercepts, and then graph each linear equation below. Oh, how did this get moved over here? Sorry. So this equation goes over here with this graph. So let's start with this one. If we have an equation of the form x equals a number, then we know that this is a vertical line. This is all the way back here, right? So if you just have x equals a number, that's a vertical line. So now, come on, iPad, there we go. So now, what is the slope of any vertical line? It is undefined. And this vertical line says x equals -2. So what that means is we've just got this vertical line right here that goes through x equals -2. This is the graph of this vertical line. So what is the x-intercept of this line, of this graph? What does it go through on the x-axis? There's the x-intercept right there. And what's the name of that point? The name of that point will be -2, 0. Now, how about the y-intercept? Where does this graph cross the y-axis? Does it cross the y-axis anywhere that you can see? It doesn't. So you could say, sometimes you'll see people write DNE for does not exist, or you'll see people write none, or you'll see people write NA for not applicable. Any of those things are fine. You don't need to write all of them, just pick one of those. So we were supposed to list the slope, the intercepts, and graph the line, and we just did all of that. So for this equation, we need to find the slope, intercepts, and graph the line. What we want to do to find the slope in particular is we are going to solve this for y to put it into the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b form. So we're going to solve this for y. So the first thing I'll do is add 4y to both sides. So I'll get 2y equals 4y plus 8. Then I'll divide everything by 2. And when I do that, I get, oh my goodness gracious, I'm solving for y, not, what the heck did I do? Why'd you guys let me do that? We want to solve for y. So we're trying to get this, so we're going to start by trying to get this expression right here by itself, and then we'll go from there. So I'm actually going to subtract 2x from both sides. So we'll subtract 2x from both sides. When I do that, I'll have -4y equals -2x plus 8. And now I will divide everything by -4. Divide by -4. So when I do that, I'll get, and this isn't an inequality, so I don't have to change the equal sign or whatever. So I'll divide by -4. I'll get y equals -2 divided by -4 will be a positive 1/2 x, and then -2. So there is my equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so now remember this number, this m in front of the x, that's the slope. So I can say that my slope is 1/2. And then also remember that this -2 here is the y value of the y-intercept. So I'm going to use that to say I know that my y-intercept is 0, -2. So remember, this is all the way back here. If you have it in the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, then m is the slope, and b is the y value of the y-intercept. Okay. Now, to find the x-intercept, I am going to have to do the same work that we did before. So to find the x-intercept, we let y equal 0 and solve. So I'm going to have 0 equals 1/2 x minus 2. I will add 2 to both sides, so I'll get 2 equals 1/2 x. And then I'm going to multiply everything by 2 to get that x by itself. And I will get that 4 equals x. So my x-intercept, so x is 4, y is 0, would be 4, 0. Now I can use those intercepts to draw the graph of my line. I've got a point at 4, 0. I've got a point at 0, -2, and that is enough for me to graph the line. But let's also check that it meets the slope requirement. So this slope means we have a vertical change of 1 with a horizontal change of 2. So that means I go up 1 to the right 2. Does that seem to match what I get when I do this graph? It does. So the slope matches. So notice that this would be go up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2. That should be a plus 1. Let me fix that. So this would be plus 1 up and to the right 2. So it matches the slope that we have. Okay, let's do this next problem. Write an equation for the line with the given properties. So know this one here has, write an equation for the line with the given properties. It has a point and it has a slope. So let's go see. Do we have anything that looks like it might help us when we have a point and a slope? Oh yeah, we have something called the point-slope formula. So here's the slope and here's a point. So we're going to use the point-slope formula for this one. So this is x1, y1, and then this is m. So I'm going to use the point-slope formula because I have a point and a slope. And the point-slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And if it helps, if you're using this formula, remember you will only be plugging in for y1, for m, and for x1. You won't be plugging in anywhere else. So I have a y1, it's 0, so y minus 0 equals, my slope is 3/4 times x minus 3. So now I'm going to go ahead and write this in slope-intercept form. So y minus 0 is just y, no problem. Here I need to distribute. So I will have 3/4 x, and then here I will have minus 9/4. So this is the equation of the line that goes through the point 3, 0 and has a slope 3/4. All right, let's try the next one. What do we do if we've got a line that says, they tell us that it has an x-intercept of -6 and a y-intercept of square root 2? Well, remember, this means it's -6, 0, should be written as an ordered pair, and then the y-intercept will be 0 square root 2. Okay, so we've been given 2 points. So let's do that here. So for this problem, notice that we were given 1 point and a slope. On this problem, we were given 2 points. So how are we going to handle this? When we were given 1 point and a slope, we used the point-slope formula. What are we going to do if we've been given 2 points? Well, first, we're going to find the slope. So if you're given 2 points, the first thing you will need to do is find the slope between those 2 points. So I'll call this x1, y1, and I'll call this x2, y2. So my slope would be m equals parentheses minus parentheses over parentheses minus parentheses. So y2 is square root 2 minus y1 is 0. X2 is 0 minus x1 is negative 6. So this is going to be square root of 2 minus 0 on top, and then 0 plus 6 on bottom because you've got minus and negative here. So the result here is just square root of 2 over 6. This is our slope. Now, we would use one of our formulas to write the equation, but notice that we have the y-intercept. Well, since we've got the y-intercept, I'm going to say, yay, we've got the y-intercept because I can use the slope-intercept form of the line. Slope-intercept form. Because I have a slope and I have the y-intercept. So that's what I'm going to use. So I've got y equals mx plus b. That's the slope-intercept form, but let's plug in what we've got. We'll have y equals square root 2 over 6 x plus the y-intercept is, the y value here is square root 2. There's our equation of that line that goes through those 2 points. Okay, let's do the next 2. So notice again here, on this problem, I have been given 2 points. One of them is the x-intercept, not the y-intercept. So I'm going to start this the same way. I'm going to start by finding the slope. So let's call this x1, y1, x2, y2, and I will find the slope. So I will do parentheses minus parentheses over parentheses minus parentheses. So I get 0 minus negative 2 over 4 minus 4. So this will be 0 plus 2 over 4 minus 4. So we get 2 over 0, which is undefined. So if I have an undefined slope, then I know that it's what kind of line? I know it must be a vertical line. I know that vertical lines are always of the form x equals a number. Well, what does x equal on this problem? Notice for both of those points that x was 4. So the equation of this line must be x equals 4. All right, let's do this last problem. It says it wants a horizontal line that goes through this point. Well, remember, horizontal lines are always of the form y equals a number. So what is the point, what y value does the point go through? It goes through 5. So then the equation of this horizontal line must be y equals 5.